Welcome back. Parliamentarians are into the third week of debate on the 2023-2024 national budget, and while giving his contribution to the debate on Monday, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper spoke to the Tourism Development Corporation, the TDC. That bill, which was tabled earlier this month, the bill was set to be debated a few months ago but was postponed due to stakeholder requests for broader consultation. It is a pivotal revolutionary legislation, according to the minister, and he told parliamentarians that it is past time that this bill be passed into law.
So while establishing the Tourism Development Corporation, this bill also establishes the Tourism Development Fund and is a key piece of legislation that will encourage the resilient and sustainable development of the tourism industry. In our blueprint for change, we promised that we will launch an aggressive mission to empower Bahamians and to create an environment where every Bahamian can thrive. This bill helps us to do just that. This is a vehicle to get comprehensive ownership in the economy for Bahamians, allowing the average Bahamian an avenue into the massive potential of the tourism industry. We've been talking about linkages to tourism for decades, and now we're doing something about it in a meaningful way.
Describing the tourism sector now as booming, Deputy Prime Minister Cooper says the government intends to see Bahamians carve out more of a space in the lucrative market, particularly as the Davis administration has been accused of locking Bahamians out of the tourism market while laying out the red carpet for foreign investors.
The bill encourages foreign investment with a view to the economic benefit to harness local entrepreneurship. As they say, a rising tide floats all boats. The Tourism Development Corporation will lower the barrier to entry into the tourism industry for the average young man or young woman. And I have announced that more than $6 billion in new foreign direct investment projects have come and are in the pipeline that we approved since coming to office. We view the massive growth in foreign direct investment in the tourism space as not being for the sake of development itself or to simply enrich the developers, but to advance Bahamian empowerment.
Deputy Prime Minister Cooper says the time to invest in tourism directly is now. The TDC is focused on providing sustained support to tourism entrepreneurs, strengthening their economic viability, improving the local product to enhance visitor experiences, and ultimately grow the Bahamian economy. The Deputy Prime Minister, who also has oversight of aviation, addressed the state of the country's national flag carrier, Bahamasair, acknowledging the past financial challenges the airline faced. He says Bahamasair is well on track to meet this year's financial commitments.
You see, when we came to office, financial reporting of Bahamasair was unacceptably in arrears. The airline has since successfully completed the 2020 financials and provided the 2021 and 2022 trial balances to external auditors. Bahamasair expects to be fully up to date with their financial statements by December 2023. Now, this is significant because this will allow for the refinancing of the airline's existing aircraft loan to reduce from the present 13% interest rate for what we are hoping will create millions of dollars of savings.
To meet tourism demands, a great deal of focus has been placed on new international routes to and from the Family Islands.
Tampa, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Nashville, non-stop to Freeport and onward to Nassau. We have also returned Bahamasair seasonal flights between Freeport and Orlando and added a new route from Freeport to Raleigh, Durham, and hopefully we will add another flight from Fort Lauderdale to Georgetown, Exuma. These international flights bring tourists who spend more and maximize the economic benefit of a $20 million plus subvention, or what I call investment, in Bahamasair, our national flag carrier, per annum. To accommodate this, Bahamasair has upgraded its fleet and continue to do so. It purchased one additional 737-700 next generation aircraft at the end of May 2023, which is expected to be delivered and in service by this year, August. This acquisition will allow for more added routes and an additional 148 extra seats.
As a result, Bahamasair's revenue is expected to grow over the next year by as much as $8 million. Deputy Prime Minister Cooper also revealing that Bahamasair is expected to add cargo services to Haiti and Cuba while flying to new destinations during this summer 2023 with nighttime operations.
Bahamasair expects to add cargo services to Haiti and Cuba and other destinations during summer of 2023, which will all operate at night when the equipment usually sits idle. We're being innovative at Bahamasair, Madam Speaker. Bahamasair presently has several key airlines as interline partners, including Delta, Copa, British Airways, United, and others to be announced soon. And for the upcoming fiscal year, Bahamasair is targeting 10 additional airlines for co-chair interline agreements to create seamless travel throughout the world. You see the significance of this? The significance of this, Madam Speaker, is if you check your bag in Brazil and you're traveling on Copa and you're headed to North Eleuthera, you need not see or touch that bag again until it gets to North Eleuthera. That's the significance of this great work that Bahamasair is doing.
Add to that, a partnership is being developed with Qatar Airways, one of the most successful airlines in the world, on new routes, cargo, and technical assistance with the aim of getting more value out of the aircrafts. Over 50 women with micro, small, and medium-sized businesses across New Providence have received the Women's Entrepreneurs Standalone Grant by the Small Business Development Center in partnership with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Executive Chairman of the SBDC, Samantha Roll, says the purpose of the grant is to ensure women in the Bahamas have access to much-needed capital to start or grow their business.
Essentially, what that initiative is all about was empowering and providing funding facilities to those existing business owners as well as startups that are owned by women. So across industry, across sector, we wanted to design a program specifically related to women businesses. In total, if I remember correctly, we had over 600 applicants that applied, and the tune of $1.some million in a funding request. And so what we did is we had quite a bit trying to use the independent adjudicator committee. And so it's a committee made of some of our strategic partners, as well as some of the SBDC team members, to adjudicate those applications. And so based on the basic requirements, documents that were requirements of the program, we went through a review process, and then we also created a short list, a pool of applicants based on their scoring.
Chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Crystal Ferguson, says the Chamber is all about improving access to finance for micro, small, and medium-sized businesses.
Our efforts range from, as I said, participating at the board level, being a founding partner, participating in adjudication for grants, but also in overall support undergirding all of these efforts. Well, I think anytime funding is able to be dispersed in the hands of women entrepreneurs on the whole, it's a good day for the Bahamas and for the business community. One of the key cornerstones that businesses continue to complain about is their access to financing. So when you look at efforts like what SBDC is doing, it is to narrow that gap. There is a gap between businesses having access to that financing, also having some information with regard to how to start, grow, and expand their businesses. So these are, as I said, it's a good day. Anytime we're able to put financing in the hands of entrepreneurs.
For those men who may be feeling a bit left out, Ms. Rose says the SBDC has many programs that cater to males in all sectors.
We don't necessarily entitle it a men program or a man's program, but we have a number of programs that are open to men and women. And what we have found in collecting the data is that we found that those programs that allow for both gender to apply depending on the industry in which it caters to. So for example, whether it's fishery, agriculture, it could even well be transportation and technology. Most women, as we've pulled from the survey that we've collected, the data that we've collected through our survey, most women are not inclined to apply for funding through those programs. And so most of our programs tend to have more applicants from from men based on those types of programs. Hence, using that data, we created the Women's Entrepreneur Initiative, because we do realize that there is a disparity, particularly in the funding ask and request of women versus men in terms of programs.
The initiative is also being carried out in the Family Islands. Ms. Rose says the 34 applicants who have been successful in the Family Islands, they will be announced in the coming weeks. Great news for Family Islanders as the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs launches 12 new online services added to its mygateway.gov.bs website. The government has made it easier for you to apply for services online, eliminating bureaucracy and wasted time. Making the announcement, its minister responsible, Clay Sweeting.
For the first time in this nation's history, customers of this ministry can now apply and pay for the following services online. In the Ministry of Agriculture, you'll have the market at Gladstone Road, vendor application, and agriculture farm land lease application. In the Department of Agriculture, you'll have applications for farmers registration, new and renewal, dog registration and license, new, renewal, and transfer, and CITES plants permit, including orchids. In the Department of Marine Resources, we have the bone fishing duty-free permit, aquaculture, which is culture fishery resource duty-free permit, and commercial fishing vessel equipment duty-free permits. These online services represent, as you can see, the empowerment of the Bahamian people, whereby the farmers markets on Gladstone Road will see new vendors join and legacy vendors continue.
In addition to these online services, Minister Sweeting outlined other initiatives that will assist government in achieving digital transformation.
Recently, we received Cabinet's approval to proceed with the digitization of the workflows within my ministry in order to improve overall efficiency and to better serve the Bahamian people. This will involve creating a paperless work environment, making use of electronic records, workflows, and digitized file cabinets. It will also set the stage for greater use and reliance on technology in farming, fisheries, and local government operations. We have also successfully launched the Golden Yoke Project and continue to expand and improve the operations at BAMSI. In the upcoming fiscal year, we will continue to facilitate grants like the Sustainable Food Growth Grant in collaboration with Access Accelerator. We also facilitate duty-free provisions in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and its Customs Department to give our clients a hand up they need to grow their businesses. And last year, we provided over $2 million in duty-free concessions alone.
By the end of June, the ministry will launch the Cultivation Center, and there is hope that a greenhouse park at the Hatchet Bay Packing House on Eleuthera will also soon open in conjunction with BAMSI. And finally, Bahamian heavyweight professional boxer Sherman Tank Williams out of Grand Bahama successfully hosted his inaugural novice boxing championship in Melbourne, Florida this past weekend, featuring high-level amateur boxing. Williams, who is a long-term resident of Florida, says plans are for the championship to become an annual event in an effort to give young people in Florida, the Bahamas, and the wider Caribbean positive options in life.
It has been a privilege and honor to be the namesake of this championship today, and I hope that going forward with great success, we can do this next year and the year after that and make this a continuous and ongoing thing. And maybe even take this into the Caribbean, to the Bahamas, maybe Puerto Rico. Amateur boxing is where it starts, and we got to continue to support the young amateurs. Just let's support the kids in general. There's a lot of negativity going on, and the way the society is today. If your child or children want to go to the gym, you got to support them. If they want to play sports and do anything positive, We have to support them.
Williams is hopeful that amateur boxing in the Bahamas has a resurgence. He is critical of the current leaders of local amateur boxing, but says he is willing to assist with development.
Hopefully this will motivate my fellow Bahamians to step up and do better. But we refuse to hold those that keep holding these office of commissioners and federation leaders and presidents accountable. If you look at the sporting system, particularly in boxing in the Bahamas, they should all be gone. The records are poor, they're not producing anything, and the youths are not growing. The sport is not developing. I'm a Bahamian first. I'm here willing and able to help in any which way I can. But it seems like the Ministry of Sports and these organizations and commissions, they just seems to be digging in their bungie and, nobody trying to move forward. But without no development, without no funding, without proper basics, and without no new ideas, innovation, new people, new blood, ain't nothing gonna change. Looking forward to working with any sporting body in the Bahamas to help them move forward and volunteer my time and my expertise.
Again, that is outspoken Bahamian professional heavyweight boxer Sherman Tank Williams. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jareno Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.